How's it going? I'm Michael, and this is my 2018 Scout Bobber. Today I'm going to be taking these front forks off to put fork gators on. So I'll walk you through that process. Okay, so you're going to need to get your front wheel off the ground. I just blocked the engine up off the ground a little bit. Just enough to clear the tire, because the tire's got to come off. Your brake caliper is going to have to come off. These two bolts, I believe those are 8mm hex. These are going to have to come loose to get the fender off. Those are 6mm. These are going to have to come off, also 6mm. Going to have to take your front turn signals off. I don't know what that one is, probably 10. You're going to have to take your headlight bucket off, or at least loosen it. There's 3 bolts, one back here and these two, all 6mm hex, I believe. And then you need to loosen this as well. So all that's got to happen. Start off by taking off the caliper. I don't know if this really has a front and a back on it, but I'm going to orient it when I set it on the ground so that the front is still in the front again. Okay, I think we're going to move over to the other side and get this axle out and this front wheel off before I go any further. So I don't have a 16mm hex. I could get one, but probably be the only time I'd ever use it. So this is a coupler for 3/8 all thread. Got it at the hardware store. I think it was $1.15, and it fits in there, and a 5/8 socket fits on it. Okay, I'm gonna take that all the way out. Just got to loosen it. That's it. I wish I could take credit for that coupler. I saw somebody else do this, and seems to work fine. So now you want to support your tire. The whole wheel is about to pull this axle out. Right, that's it. Got it, axle. These come out, so keep track of them. We're going to clean them up before we put it all back together again. Okay, we got the front wheel off, fenders off, rotors off. So next thing we're going to do is take this turn signal out, or off anyway, and then the headlight bucket. This is just a piece of rubber that slips over here. I'm going to loosen these but not take them all the way out. Same thing with this headlight bucket. I'm not going to take these all the way out. I'm just going to loosen them up. Just until there's a gap right here, pretty good gap. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. Just so it's not holding tension against the fork. All right, last one on this side. So do pay attention to how high this sets up in here. Okay, that will make a difference. We're going to try to replicate that when we put it back together. I'm having to twist it back and forth a little bit in order to get it to come out. All right, that is it. One side's done. So we'll clean this up and we'll put a little bit of lubricant on it before we put it back together. Okay, next side the same thing. We're gonna loosen these up, not take them out all the way. Loosen these up, loosen this up, pull out the other fork. All right, so there's how it stands now. I would say if you're going to take your radiator cover off and put in some extra screen, that this would be a good time for that. Also, if you want to change out your headlight, this might be a good time for that. I've already switched mine out to an LED, yeah, you're already here, so might get several projects knocked out at once. I am going to go ahead and put some screen in that radiator cover before I put everything back together again. Now I'm ready to put it back together again. I'm going to use a little bit of oil. This is Deep Creep by Seafoam. Just a little bit of this inside here to kind of help clean, but also to help lubricate it. Do the same thing here, just on the top. I don't know, 3 or 4 inches. Now I'm ready to put the boot on. Comes all the way down, locks in here pretty good. All right. Okay. Now, like I said before about how far up to push this fork, hopefully you paid attention to how far up it was before. And I just want to match that again. That looks about right. Second gator. Went right where it was before. So this was just a touch above the bottom of the bracket. So this one needs it. Looks like both of those are right where they were before. I'm not going to be worried about torque just yet. I'm just going to snug everything up, and then I'll torque it here just a little bit. Couple of things on the wheel. You're going to want to clean these out real well and then lubricate them again. Next thing I'm going to do is put the fender on. I was going to wait to put it on last, but I think it's going to help me to keep my forks lined up when it's time to get the wheel put back on. Make sure these are clean while they're out. Maybe just put a little bit of grease on them. I've got just wheel bearing grease here. Not putting much on, just a little bit. Okay. So, next thing I need to do is get the axle through. So I'm going to use an extension to help hold this side of the wheel up, kind of help line it up some. Just going to push this axle through. Got it. The only thing left to put on is the caliper. Okay, I think we're all ready to torque everything down now. The axle bolt gets torqued to 52 foot-pounds. Again, make sure that the pinch bolt is not tight before you do this. I'm going to torque down the axle bolt first. 52 foot-pounds. Everything else gets 18 foot-pounds. Right, so I couldn't find the torque specs for the headlight cover, so I'm not going to torque those to 18. It's doesn't look like it's quite as substantial metal as the rest of it was. So I'm just going to tighten those up until they feel snug. And I'll come back and check everything in a couple of days after riding it some. So a little bit about the Gators that I've got. They fit so well, and they've got enough travel in them that I don't think I'm even going to zip tie them. I don't really care for the look of the zip tie. So I'm going to ride them like it is and see how they hold up. They've got slotted channels in them so that any air that gets compressed in there will be channeled out instead of airlocking it. They're made by Biker's Choice. So the ones that I got were 39 millimeter for the Scout Bobber. So anyway, I'm going to ride them, see how they do. If for some reason they're not working out, I will definitely let you know and update this video. All right, thanks for hanging with me, and like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Okay, so I've had a chance to ride this bike a little bit. The Gators seem to be doing great. I've had no issues with them slipping at all. They haven't come off of this housing at all. They're just staying put. I did retorque everything. So all the pinch bolts I retorqued to 18 foot-pounds, and then the axle bolt I retorqued, and it did tighten up a little bit. So one of the things to remember whenever you're retorquing this, back the tension off of this a little bit, then retorque this, and then retorque this. So it's really important. That's not going to budge unless you get this pinch bolt backed off a little bit. So yeah, everything seemed to be good. This I noticed a little bit of excess grease on either side. This one and this one, you can see it in there. So I'm going to wipe that off. Just to get it cleaned up. I feel like it's going to attract quite a bit of dirt otherwise, so I'm going to get all that wiped off. The rotor bolts all seem tight. Everything seems pretty solid, so I am going to get that grease cleaned off and call it done. I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned. There will be some more stuff.